Good day, everyone. Nice to see everybody here today. Let's see who we got here. We got Pilot Pat. We've got Chumi joining us on the sightseeing flight. Good to have you here. See, Wayne's popped in. Dark Fury said hi. Maxim Tronin, good to see you. Of course, we've got Oki. We've got Eastbirds as well, which is great. And Kevin. Okay, Kevin, well, with what you'll be flying, what I guess you'll be flying, you'll be able to catch up with us, so that won't be an issue. So we're continuing our tour of Britain. And today we are flying from Oban. We're going to head inland past Fort William and the famous Glenfinnan Viaduct. And then we're going to head towards the Isle of Skye. And we're going to be landing up at the airfield there. So that is our plan for today. I'm just going to start that so I can log the flight for my airfield. And there's Fred Shark taking off. Not sure what he's flying. A nice twin by the look of it. Very nice. So Oban suddenly got very busy. This is a airport from flightsim.to, Oban, and our destination at I think it's Broadfield Airport, Broadford Airport in Skye. It's also downloaded from the flightsim.to website, so should be good. Yeah, the Spiduki, exactly. All right, so let's get on board and get fired up. The winds are basically right out of the west, so we're going to take off on runway, what is it, 19, I think it is. And, yeah, runway 19, and we'll take off to the south. And then we'll head out to where we're going. So, into the cockpit we go. All right, so master on. We can get rid of you. Make sure we'll go full rich. Throttle all set to a quarter. I'll kill the ding dings. Fuel's on both, and I was hearing engines around me, but I don't see anyone. And fuel cutoff is set, so fuel pump will come on. We'll give it 5 seconds of full fuel flow.
TOS system test.
And there we go. And then we'll come up on the mags and start. Alright, engine is started. Turn the avionics on. Make sure we got our beacon and nav lights going. Gonna get rid of the inset map there. Or CDI will go over to that. PFD will show wind option 3. Transponder on VFR. There we go. So we're going to take off to the south. We'll loop back up, pick up our course, and head out. We're going for an altitude today of, oh, what do we say, 2,500 feet. And that should be good to clear anything we happen to run into. Alright, so how are we doing outside here? There's Bowser Monkey. I remember him from last time we were up in this neck of the woods. Oh! Looks like Pilot Pat has moved his Spitfire over here. Or, whoever that is. No, that's, I don't know who's flying the Israeli Spitfire. But Oki, once again, is way down there on his own. Not sure why he's decided to head out there, but always good to see you in the streams, Oki. Alright, so we're going to wheel around to the right here. We'll avoid Rachel on the push cart, and we're just going to taxi out onto the stub of the taxiway here and get ready for takeoff. Oh, you're over with me. Oh, you're flying the same markings as Eastbirds today. So the Israeli squadron with us. Alright. Let's get back inside. We'll take the parking brake off. And we will make a hard turn to loop around here. We're in a bit of the grass. There's everybody coming over. Head over towards the stub over here. We're gonna go flaps 1. And we'll get our lights on. So we are ready to go. Well, it's not showing me that, so if it's not a default livery, if it's one you got off of FlightSim.to, Wayne, it just picks one and does a random insert. It is EGEI, but in the sim, it's also got it as the XBRO for some reason. So there's a bit of a conflict, but yeah, the EGSI is the, I think it, or the EGEI is the modern IKO for it. Alright, you can see the 2 Israeli Spits here. And waiting for Oki to cross over the runway. So Oban's a busy airport today. While I set up, once I got in, a couple airplanes were taken off. Doing their thing, so. Let Oki get over here. Oh, and there's Mighty Mackerel spawning in his Spit Oki. Oh, and Dark Fury's coming as well, so excellent. Thought you might have been up on Gavin's stream. Oh yeah, was I seeing you as a Cherokee as well? Interesting. Oh, I was, yes, when we were doing the DC6 stream. That is definitely strange. Alright, so Mighty Mackerel and Dark, you guys can catch us up as we head out. Alright, so parking brake is off, flaps are set, and away we go. So again, we're going to depart to the south, and then we're going to turn at about 500 feet. We'll make the turn to the west. There we go, full power. The Dancing Spitfire taking off. There's 55 knots. Let's get the pressure. They're nicely trimmed. There we go. 400 feet, so flaps can come up. 500 feet, we're going to make the turn. go. Getting that speed built up. Alright, so autopilot's on, so we're going to go into nav mode. And vertical speed. Tag it around 500 feet per minute. There we go. And we're climbing out of Oban. Beautiful weather today. Nice and clear skies, and I assume it's still a hot one over there for all the guys in the UK. Oh, Dark Fury's up. Excellent. And there goes the first of what will probably be many flybys. So Cap V Land, it's good to see you. I'm not sure who you are if we're in the chat. If you are in the chat, identify yourself for me, please. It would be great to know who we're flying with. And it looks like we got Super Vo as well. Same for you. If you're in the chat, it would be awesome to put a name to you or who you are. There's Mighty Mackerel. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to fly out towards the island here, and then we're going to head north, and we're going to be flying up into the sound up towards, I guess you'd call it the divide of Scotland. There is a line that runs through that separates really the far northern highlands. Oh, Maxim, that's you. Cap, that's the Cap VLAN? Okay. Excellent. And this separates, and it's a series of locks that all run all the way north and come out at Inverness. And basically, Loch Ness is the topmost lock, and there's a couple others that run up from Fort William and stuff, and a couple little rivers in between. So it's basically a water separation between that part of Scotland and the main part. And that's when you really get into the scenic highlands, which is kind of what we're heading into. I'm going to be crossing over. Coming up for 2,500 feet. There's 2,400. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the power back a little bit to about 2,450. Well, about 2,410. It'll creep up a little bit as we level. And there we go. We got a good assortment of aircraft with us today as we head north. The Great Glen. Oh, thanks, Roddy. Yeah, it's a very impressive geological feature, and it really illustrates that point where the two plates joined and made Scotland. Because if I remember my geology right, this side over here, which is on the other side of the Great Glen, is actually originally from North America. The rocks are the same as the rock you get in Newfoundland and everything, and it's pretty amazing. It looks like at some point it came across and rammed into the top of Britain, and that became, over time, the top of Scotland. So that is pretty cool. Oh, I can tell by the name. Well, my family's from Scotland as well, but I've only been visiting. I haven't actually lived there for any significant period of time. And most of my time I've spent in Scotland has been in the northeast, the Aberdeen, Edinburgh area over there, which is where all my family's from. Although initially we were from the Highlands, more up towards Hampshire and up in that area. Very nice. I got my Spitfire Escort, and I'm seeing Dark Fury of the Spitfire. Excellent. So that's 3 Spits and a Mighty Mackerel in his aerobatic Cherokee there. And everybody else who's flying along with us here. Alright, how's our speed doing? So, yeah, I'll take it to say 2350. So we can enjoy the views here. Yeah, I love Edinburgh. It's a beautiful city. My mom's family came just east along the coast there in East Lothian area. One of the small towns there. Well, not so small anymore. I was through there a couple years ago, and it's really getting built up. But out towards Port Seton and all that area there. So I spent a little bit of time out there. Beautiful here. Beautiful day to go flying. Winds are out of the west, but pretty much no clouds. So it's lovely. So, Dark Fury, what do you think? Have our improvements to the terrain and the settings paid off here? You're getting a little closer, Eastwards. Alright, so we're heading up towards Fort William. And Fort William, let's just pop up so we can see over the nose. Fort William sits at the end of the sound here that leads up in this way. And as Roddy pointed out, the Great Glen, and Glen is the Gaelic for valley, which is why you have yeah, McDougall's would be Western, a Western clan, yeah. So if you all know the famous drink Glenfiddich, a Fiddick is a deer, and my digital download settings, Dark Fury, that we were working on earlier with the photogrammetry. I don't know if this showing it, the big data and all that stuff, if it's looking nicer or if we're only going to see it in built-up areas and towns, but just wondering if you're noticing an improvement on the stream. Yeah, Fiddick is a deer, and Glen is a valley, so Glenfiddich, the famous Scotch, is actually Valley of the Deer. And a Glen is actually a specific type of valley. It's a wide open, broad valley, I believe, and Scotch from my neck of the woods, or my family's neck of the woods, originally is called Strathisla, and it's because there's a river called the Isla River that runs through it, and a strath is a very narrow valley, so it's the narrow valley with the River Isla running through it, and that's what the Scotch is named. Very educational flights here. Speaking of education, once we pass Fort William, yeah, you see the improvement? Yeah, I see it too, so excellent. Looks like that's sorted out. Once we pass Fort William, we're going to run into the very famous Glenfinnan Viaduct, made famous in another historical film series, oops, that being Harry Potter. It's where the trains run over. If you remember, a little while ago, we did a sightseeing trip here with myself and Nick and Willie Canuck, and we flew over it. So we're going to be flying over it again. You'll get to see the famous train bridge that they still run trains on. The was it the Great Western Railway, I think it's called? Runs from Fort William all the way up to the coast, so it's pretty cool. Scots Gaelic and Irish Gaelic are really similar. Yeah, they are very well. The Gaels and the Celtic peoples, I think, were the same, and they landed onto the two islands. There was the Scotland and Western Scotland. Well, initially, I believe, if I got my history right, they all came out of Ireland. So even if you have, I think the Gaels and the Celts were in Ireland, and they settled into Western Scotland because the other major two tribes you had were in the northeast, were the Picts, and in the southeast, I believe, were the Scotty, who Scotland ends up being named after. And then you had the Celts coming in from the west, and they spoke Gaelic, and that's why you still have Gaelic being spoken in the northwest of Scotland, because that's the language of the peoples that originally came into there. And again, the Picts are the famous blue-painted Picts from history that the Romans had to deal with, and that they built the Hadrian's Wall to kind of partially keep them out and partially to control trade. But that was pretty cool. And for those of you who remember the movie Braveheart, the blue-painted Scottish warriors there. Now, it's completely inaccurate. The blue paint was about 500 or 600 years too late, and the knights wouldn't have been wearing kilts, or the Scottish warriors wouldn't have been wearing kilts. They would have been in armor like the English. But why let the truth ruin a good movie? Oh, land's getting pretty rugged up here. So as we cruise along, if you haven't already, if you could consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It is always a big help. It grows our little community, puts the videos out there a little bit more, and makes me feel good, and it should make you feel good too as you help support what we have going here. Do a variety of flying, from actual videos to live streams, although I'm liking the live streams more and more. And we're live streaming everything from the A320 to 1947's DC-6 at the moment. And we do community flights like this. We're doing the community flight on the Wednesdays in small general aviation aircraft. And we're doing a community flight on Monday nights at the same time in the DC-6. And we're just started a tour of Germany, so if you want to join in, that one's there as well for you to have fun with and enjoy. See Fort William coming up. Yeah, Roddy, that's they got the deer head, the stag on the as their logo. I didn't learn that either until I visited the distillery a number of years ago and got the tour. Very beautiful. I can't believe how hot it is over here right now. Willie Canuck was telling me how the temperatures are like kind of beyond anything that Scotland really ever sees, which is why it's having such a big impact. So Spitfires. I mean, talk about wanting to get yourself on camera. Right? Coming in right up in the window there. You can tell when you get a little bit close as you fade out. Very nice. That's of course Eastbirds. Right, Ben Nevis. And Ben Nevis, if I have it right, is the highest mountain in the UK, not only Scotland. So it's higher than Mount Snowdon, and it's higher than any of the other famous ones. This is Fort William. Now, if I have it right, these forts, and there's Fort Augustus up at the bottom end of Loch Ness, I believe they were originally English forts that were put in to help suppress the Scots. And they, at some point during one of the many English invasions. Very nice. Although chew me, I'm a little disappointed. I expected to see an orange airplane today. Somewhere around here should be the viaduct. Hopefully we'll see it. Don't remember exactly where it is. I believe it's on this line here. I think that might be it there that we're coming up to. We'll get a look as we fly by. I'm like the queen bee here. I've got all these guys flying around me. Well, that might not be it. I don't know. Yes. Wow, I don't know if we're going to see it or not on this trip. No, we're not. The Glenfinnan Viaduct is actually back. It's down there, past Fort William. Just looked at it on the map, so we'll have to go to my other sightseeing tour in the area to go see that. But we're now coming up to this is the very creatively named Loch Lochy. So yeah, Roddy, I just figured that out. I was looking at the map. Of course, Loch Lochy being the equivalent of the famous boat name of Bodie McBoatface. But it's kind of like calling something Lake Lake or Lake Lakey. But I do love this part of Scotland. Very rugged, majestic. Yeah, cold in the winter, but it's pretty good. Alright, Eastwards, give me some high-speed passes so I can hear that roaring Merlin at full power as you go by. I love how he's got to have his flaps down. Alright, so we're going to continue up north. And we're heading up towards an area called, I think it's Invergary. I believe that's where we're going to turn. And we're going to head in towards another Lochgarry. Yep. Yeah, he hasn't been with us for the last couple. Unfortunately. Not sure what he's up to now. So it looks like the Spitfire has become a very popular plane within the community. I have one too, and we're doing the guys are doing little group flights with it and touring around, so it's proving to be a very fun airplane. Unfortunately for Mighty Mackerel there, his airplane has the sound of the Piper, so I'm not getting that roar of the Spitfire as he goes by, but it's still pretty impressive for that airplane. Just see how beautiful this is here. You get the road light going right along the edge of the lock here. Chumie doing a... You better be careful, Chumie. We're not that high up, and you're doing an inverted roll towards the water. There we go. You hear them coming in. This is Kilfinnan. And then after that, up around here, you have the little community of Lagan. And then we're going to come up here and make the turn. We're going to head westward. And we'll be turning at Invergary and then coming over Lochgarry. Again, not a lot of trees out this way in Scotland. It's a lot of barren hill, rock, scrub, and of course the obligatory gorse and heather. And it looks like there's a canal to take you between the two bodies of water here. see if I can figure out what this next body of water is called. Loch Hoyt. And there should be a castle up here. Further up, around here is the Invergary Castle. Not sure where we're going to turn. Let's see if we can spot it. Probably somewhere around here. We're going to be heading out over the water here. Yeah, can't quite see it. Looks like it might have put in a modern building for it. Got out of the hills a little bit here. It's become a little bit flatter. We're going to make our turn and head in this way. Once again, flying along this beautiful countryside. So it looks like we're going to be passing by 3 different locks. We've got Loch Derry, which we're coming up on now, and then we're going to fly up along the edge of Loch Loyne, and then we're going to turn left and head down Loch Fluine. Ah, dark. I hate when that happens. It does it without warning. It just vanishes on you. Very frustrating. It's either that or the other one I've had happen, and it's happened a couple times, though I've updated my drivers again, was OBS just packing it in. It did it the other day. It's done it to me once or twice. Well, I guess this last time would be the 3rd time. Right, short final coming into Hamburg in the DC-6 after a 2-hour flight. She just shut right down. Very frustrating. There's the next lock over the hill here. We're going to come down here. We'll make a turn. We're going to fly up this edge, and then we're going to make a left turn and then fly out on the next lock. Of course, you can see on the high ground here, we have the wind farm. We are, of course, on the western part of Scotland, and we're in an area where the Atlantic winds are coming in pretty much unhindered, so there's usually a pretty good wind here constantly. These guys are kind of putting around at their landing speeds. Alright, so we're going to make a little bit of a right turn now. Head across the land that separates us from these 2 locks. And Opie's gone off sightseeing further to the north. Not exactly sure where he's gone, but it's all good. I've never tried reloading in through Volanta. I saved my flight plans whenever I'm flying. So especially on longer flights, so I can always, if the sim crashes, I can always load back in at the last waypoint I was going through and restart. But yeah, I've never tried to use Volanta to do it. We're coming up the back side of this hill now. Yeah, Eastbirds, if you got to give your spit some air, you know, feel free to go a bit faster and get some air going down those intakes. Just a reference point. There we go. Of course, we've still got Mazzer Monkey hanging out back over there. Oh, use the position? Yeah. Okay, that would work as well. Again, we're going to come up here, we're going to hook around. And then down here should be that Loch Cluane that we're going to pick up. And we're actually going to follow that one for a little bit. We got another mountain coming up. Skye Furaten. Oh. Gaelic names are killing me. Skye Furaten, and we're going to go by that, another large prominent mountain. It's up over this way. But here's the other lock. We're going to make the turn. There we go. There's Wayne behind us. Just edging ourselves around this promontory here. Oh, here's Oki. All the way back there. Mighty Mackerel's coming in for a high-speed pass. So for you guys flying the DC-6s with me, I've got all your liveries loaded up and they are working. So on Monday it'll be interesting to see if you guys are all appearing in your specific liveries, and if you do, that is quite the collection that we're going to have. So hopefully you can download the livery I'm using as well. It's on flightsim.to. It's the Royal Canadian Air Force DC-6. And hopefully you'll see me in that one. You do have to input it in through the PODG livery program. It's in that format. But it's got to be in, I think, the same format that Dark did his one in. Beautiful sunlight on the lock here. Yeah, Dark, I am. Why don't you fire me a DM in the Discord and let me know what your availability is, and I'll see what I'm doing and we can match up, and we'll get together and run over systems and navigation and stuff. So down, where would it be? Off this way. I believe that peak over there is about right. High point. We're coming up to the town of Glen Morriston, located at the top of the lock here. And then we're going to follow the river up this way. Keep on sightseeing. There's Dark Fury's tag back, so he's back up in the sim. I think we had a three-way mid-air collision there. Oh, come on. There we go. Did not like that hesitation there. Heading up the little valley here, and there's a peak that we're going to come up to shortly. I guess it's another well-known peak here. That's a Skye for Furan. It's one of these peaks up here. Just keeping an eye on the hills and the mountains here, making sure that we can get through on our course. Some pretty impressive hills. Still got snow on the tops, given it's July. I like the way Oki's just hanging back, staying out of the way of all these fast-moving guys that are running around here. So we're currently following the A87. So we're heading up to Logitech, D-U-I-C-H. Again, a lot of Gaelic names up in this area. But there's a town coming up called Shield Bridge, and I'm wondering if there's a nice bridge that we're going to see. That would be pretty cool. Should be where we come out into the next lock. Got everybody back there. There's the lock. I think this is that peak I mentioned, the Skye Furan. Very impressive, very rugged. The town of the Shield Bridge is just up here before we head over onto the lock itself. A lot of traffic on that road down there. I get the feeling there's not that much traffic down here in real life. So we're not far away. We're going to follow the lock here up. And then we're going to make a left turn. And we're going to head out over Loch Alsh. Follow it along. And that takes us over to Skye. We're going to pass the Skye Bridge. And we're going to head down into Broadford where the airport is on the Isle of Skye. It's been a great flight. Just look at these hills. It's fantastic. Oh, there's Dark Fury coming in. There's Oki. Nice to see another 172. Alright, so we're going to drop down to about 1,000 feet here. Let's hop back in the cockpit. We'll set 1,000 feet as our target. We'll go down at about 300 feet, and to keep our speed the same, we're going to drop about 300 RPM. So when you're flying without this type of autopilot and stuff, basically what you would do is for every 100 RPM you pull off, and this works for the Cessna 172, but roughly for every 100 RPM you pull off, you will get 100 foot per minute descent rate. Same with climb. Yeah, at 100 RPM you should get about 100 foot climb rate. So we'll hold our speed around there. We're just going to descend down. Because we're going to be basically over the water now for the next little bit. We want to get a good view of that bridge when we get there. You're too slow to compete with those guys? Yeah. So Roddy, if you're still in the chat, Skye Bridge, I believe, is relatively new. Used to be the only way you could get there would be by ferry. But sometime in the last 15 years, I think, 10, 15 years, they built the bridge so that you can get the road traffic across, if I remember right. Oh, when we get to the airport, it's western heading. I think it's the runway 25 is the one we're going to be using, given the winds are out of the west-ish, or northwest anyway. Yeah, runway 25 will be our runway of choice. Very nice. A nice little formation going on here. Oh, Pilot Pat, you're in a 172 as well. Oh, that's great to see. The ferry still runs, yeah. Not sure what their tourist numbers are through there, but it must have been getting up to the point where they felt they needed to put in the bridge. So this is the little community of Dorney, and on the other side we have Conchar. And then we start running into some good Scottish names. We got Octortire coming up, and Balmacara. And when we get up towards the end here, we got the Kyle of Loch Alsh and Keeking on the other side of the bridge. So I think the bridge runs across there, so we'll see if it's actually in the sim. Eileen Donan Castle. Let's see if I can spot that. what side's it going to be on, and do you know if it's in the sim? It'd be interesting to see if when they did the UK update, they put the bridge in. So this is Loch Alsh we're going over here. And this is Skye here. You can see it's cut through here and it's cut through here, and the water goes all the way around it. So we're heading out to the islands here on the west coast. Of course, these are all part of the Inner Hebrides. And the islands further out are the Outer Hebrides. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is, so I don't know where to look exactly. If you've got an idea, you can point me to it. I don't... Oh, no. I think there's the bridge right there, starting to render in. See if I can find out where the castle is. Oh, it was behind us. We've already passed it. It's at the other end of the loch. I'm not sure how we're getting out of here when we go off on our next leg, so we may be going past it on the way out. So this is Kyle of Loch Alsh, old community there. And this is Kyleakin on this side, and there is the bridge that connects the Isle of Skye with the mainland of Scotland. And it's a fairly big island. It's actually huge. This all out here is part of the island. And there we go. There's the bridge going over. Oh wow. The Dark Fury just flew under the bridge. Oh, and I got it on camera, so there we go. Looks like a little bit of a challenge for the rest of you Spitfire guys. You have to do some under bridge flying. Anyway, we've made our final turn. The airport is pretty much dead ahead. So we're going to hop back into the cockpit. And we're going to keep an eye out for our landing spot. Should be somewhere here on the coast. Oh, there it is right below us. Closer than I thought. See the airport's right there. Oh, looks like the Spitfires are going to start heading out to do their thing. I guess I should join them. So, autopilot off. We'll head around. We're going to have to get low anyway, so we might as well have fun doing it. Roddy, thank you for subbing. Greatly appreciated. Glad we can provide a little bit of entertainment to you. There's the bridge. All right. Here we go. See if we can do this in the Cessna. If this ends horribly, that'll kind of be the end of the stream. Let's go, I think, the tallest side.
500.
It's 500 feet. Goes Mighty Mackerel. Oh, looks like we're all doing it. There we go. A nice little wing over turn here. Time to head for the airfield. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works, Roddy. I'm assuming that it'll be a cross-platform multiplayer, so you're more than welcome. So that worked out rather well. So make sure our landing lights are on. We're all set. Airport's in sight. Alright, speed's coming back.
500.
First notch of flaps. Second notch of flaps. Fairly short runway. A little bit of trimming. It's very disconcerting hearing all these engines behind me. There's Wayne's down. Engines to idle, a little bit of a float there on the flare, and we're down. Here's the end of the runway. Come over here, taxi on the grass up to the terminal building while we watch everybody else come in and land. Uh-oh, looks like Mighty Mackerel's all over the place. I think he ground looped it. Dark, going by the Spitfire crowd. East birds. Okies put her down. There's Pilot Pat. Where'd Chumi go? I didn't see him. Oh, Chumi's right behind us. Okay. He must have landed and tucked her in. Touched a little early. Yeah, I kind of saw you bouncing all over the place a little bit there. Alright, let's find a parking spot here. And we will call it for today. Well, although Dark had to restart, everybody made it who was expected to make it, so good. Put her in right here. There we go. And we're back on board. So parking brake is set. Mixtures off. Lights are off. Megs, avionics, and masters. There we go. So if you want to move around so you're in the picture, we'll get the group shot. Looks like Eastbirds is reversing. Where's Chumi? There he is. So that's going to be the angle for the shot. So if you want to get in. Chumi, you're out of frame there. Oh, you're welcome, Roddy. And we've got a few more legs to go on this. Oh, Chumi's going to be there. Okay, let me reposition. We got a few more legs to go. We're going all the way to the as far north as we can get. So it'll be a few more weeks before we're done this one, and then I've got other ones lined up so that we'll be able to. Keep touring around the world like this. So as soon as you guys kind of stop moving around, we'll get the I love the slew function. We'll get the photo. All right, here we go. All right, guys, thank you very much for flying with us. Glad you enjoyed. We'll see you in a week for the next one. We'll see you on Monday for leg 2 of the DC-6s. And of course, on Sunday, it is our Ford's flight where we're flying the A320 around the world. And we'll be doing leg 2 on that one as well. Once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you.